I want to get into the stuff that's going on with the Democrats. So we have a couple stories I want to highlight, and we'll go through this quickly because I want to highlight the political turmoil, not necessarily the Democrats or the Republicans, just the instability. So we have this story from CNN. House Democrats weigh ejecting GOP winner of contested Iowa race, dismissing comparisons to Trump's effort to overturn the election. Quite literally, this is a Republican who won. The state certified she won. A bipartisan panel certified this Republican won, and the Democrats have voted to move forward with a review to see if they will eject a Republican sitting member of Congress who duly won her election and replace her with a Democrat. We also have 73 Democrats sign efforts to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene from the House after she's already been removed from her committees. Now we have them going after Brett Kavanaugh, with Vanity Fair writing, could Brett Kavanaugh be booted from the Supreme Court? We talk a lot about politics. I get it. But how much of this is, let's have an argument about who should be in the Supreme Court? How much of this is our system is completely gone? It's broken. When the moment they said, I know he's already on the Supreme Court, let's reopen an investigation anyway. I know she's literally a duly elected representative. Let's remove her now. At what point do we just say we have no elections if they're going to be doing this after the fact?
Once again, this relates to what we've been talking about for the last hour or so, which is the complete destruction of our institutional norms for short-term convenience. And it's always short-term convenience. Oh, well, Donald Trump, he's literally Hitler, so we've got to get rid of this whole objectivity thing for the news media.
Yeah,
and then the military's now, this slippery slope. Now the military, we've had civil-military separation for 204 years. We'll just spark the biggest crisis in civil-military relations since MacArthur, because Tucker said things we think are mean.
He did say mean things, though, and those and we as very soft, delicate cookie dough Americans can't handle mean words. Words are violence. At least that's what they've been telling me now. So when I mean, look at us. We're sitting here talking about, you literally having dealt with the LA riots and having deployed and served in the military, much more than I can speak for. But I've been in riots as well. And I'm looking at a bunch of people that think words are violence. Yeah. It's like, okay, I watched someone get shot. I personally got shot by a ricochet of a pepper ball, which sprayed my face with plastic bits and went my eyes and took me down a bit. I've run through walls of tear gas in Turkey and Brazil and the United States. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm some super soldier. I'm just some dude who's actually seen some stuff. But if I've seen that, and we've got, one, the political conflict, the institutional breakdown, our military is freaking out about Gadsden flags. Every little institution, like you mentioned, they're breaking apart. Confidence in the system is breaking. Moral frameworks there's two different total moral frameworks. It feels like, in my opinion, we are heading towards, what should we call it? A prepper's dream. Ugh. What they've long, I mean, I'll tell you this. I see these Twitter posts from preppers, and they post how they're laughing. I remember I drove at the beginning of COVID. I drove across the U.S. I went to a gas station, and it was the toilet paper craze. And I asked the lady at the counter, and we were in Arizona, and she goes, "Oh, we're not worried about any of that. We're preppers. We got months worth of everything stocked up and always have. So we laugh at everybody when this happens."
Yep.
So I want to try and keep it wrapped up in just stemming into the political conversation. Vanity Fair is actually asking if they could boot Brett Kavanaugh because who was it? Was it a senator? Was it
White House?
White House said the FBI didn't actually do a legitimate review. It was fake. So they're trying to reignite. Yeah, they said that a lot of people were trying to send tips to the FBI about Kavanaugh, but apparently Chris Wray was classmates with Kavanaugh, and they're both members of the Federalist Society. So Wray didn't actually do the investigation. They're trying to get pretext, it seems, to remove a Supreme Court justice, to remove 2 GOP reps. They already took Marjorie Taylor Greene off of her committees. I bring this up just to talk about the institutional decay, to say, like, at what point does this stop and do we recover? Or is this just the crumbling of the infrastructure that leads to the chaos?
There's going to be one or two directions. Either it continues and there's chaos, or people say, whoa, stop. Now, we saw that young lady canceled today. A very liberal lady canceled.
A woman of a leftist woman of color was fired, or she was forced to resign.
And Jonathan Swan got on Twitter and said, "This is terrible. This is wrong." Of course, he got ratioed with people going, "This is what you wanted.
Yeah,
this is what you've been cheering." Either people stop it, or it continues. What is rewarded, you get more of. And so far, this stuff has been rewarded.
Always.
If it goes on, I mean, it's ugly. Look, I've got 5 novels of America falling apart that I sell a ton of. People's Republic. Go get your copy today.
People were actually commenting. They said that one person commented they read your book and loved it, and it's eerily similar to what's happening. It worries them.
It kind of freaks me out because when I wrote the first one, People's Republic, in 2016, it was a warning. I love this country. I love what we have here. I've lived overseas for years. I've seen places that don't work. And it rips me up to see us squandering the legacy we've been granted. We didn't earn it. We didn't build it. Here we were handed it. We need to maintain it. We're not doing that.
Sounds like Obama. Remember, he's like, "You didn't build that."
Well, in this case, it's correct.
Yeah,
we did not build these institutions.
We
inherited it. We could have made them better, but we've already gone down that road. So I wrote these books, and I was thinking, what's the wildest thing? People, what craziness? People being arrested for being transphobic. Thought police.
There was that guy who got arrested because I think that was in Canada though.
That was Canada.
Yeah, he refused to refer to his
daughter as his daughter.
Yes. Well, this is complicated. It's a court battle between the parents and the court as to whether or not the child has the right to be
the 13-year-old, if I believe.
Maybe 14. So the issue is, if it was a clear-cut case where we had quotes from a trans boy, a transgender 14-year-old who said specifically they were, then I can talk about what that person was saying. We have a legal battle. When you have a judge saying, "I don't care what your legal argument is about your children, you must say this," or you know what I mean?
Seems like they've already decided.
Right. So and we saw that other legal battle in Texas.
Well, that's again, institutional decay.
But back to your book. I don't want to derail from your talking about the book.
No, go buy the damn book. Let's all 5 of them.
No, you were mentioning that people were getting arrested for like crazy things.
Yeah, they're getting arrested, and I write this stuff, and it starts happening, and I'm thinking successively more crazy stuff as I'm writing the subsequent books. And it's happening. And people write me going, "This is all happening." And it's like, I don't want this to happen. This is not a how-to. I'm not for any of this. But they don't listen. It's this institutional decay. Look, what institution defends us regular people now? Can you go to the courts and be sure that you're going to get a fair shake? Can you go to the FBI? Can you go to Congress? Can you go to the media? Can you go to academia? Academia is going to tell you you're a white supremacist, which was really puzzling to the guy who drives a truck for a living when he's being told by a guy who makes 4 times as much, doing diversity articles that he's oppressing.
Sounds like you're saying we already lost.
I don't think we've ever.
You made a really scary point. I'll tell you that. Think about this for everybody listening. Do you feel like if you went to court, if you called the police, if you called the FBI for any issue, do you think they would actually have your back? Would they support you as an American citizen?
Well, would you get a fair shot?
Would you get a fair shot?
See, the beauty of a democratic republic, a free country, is, maybe you lose the election, but you're like, well, okay, I lost, but, I lost. But I made my case. Better luck next time. Or I went to court. I didn't like the way the jury came out, but I got a chance to make my peace, and I think it was fair. That's the basis. And if you don't have that,
YouTube has a rule that if you say something specific in relation to Donald Trump in the election, they'll delete your video and give you a strike. Donald Trump's made statements that have been removed from YouTube, and his own speeches have gotten news outlets like Right Side Broadcasting Network got a strike, I believe, simply for broadcasting Trump's speech. Yet, if you relay what the Democrats have said about Rita Hart in Iowa, which is in many ways similar to what Donald Trump said, you are fine. You are allowed to advocate for what the Democrats have called for. Contesting a certified election, that's okay on YouTube. That's the Silicon Valley bias right there.
Well, it's hugely biased, and I think it's another example of short-term thinking. Because right now, well, it's such an emergency. We've got to do this exceptional thing. Of course, the exception becomes the rule. When it becomes the rule, it eventually becomes the rule for everybody. And the worm eventually turns. And someday they could be scratching their heads going, gosh, I don't seem to have a lot of friends left. Look, I don't think we've ever lost until our hearts stop beating. I am always an optimist. I understand that what we had in America and what I think we're on the verge of losing if we don't watch it is so much greater than what's been in any other culture, any other place, certainly any other place I've been. There's something about it. It's so powerful. It's so right. You know, and I'm not one of those guys who talk the right side of history. Oh God! But what we're selling, freedom, civil rights, individuality, free enterprise, the rule of law. This is great stuff, and people have sacrificed a huge amount for it. And people from other countries, like my wife, come here to get that. So
it's falling apart, though.
Look, it's running ragged. But we're not done yet, and I will never give up as long as I'm alive. I will never give up and just say, oh, we're done.
No, I agree.
I will certainly use their rules against them because some people need to learn through pain.
I guess the issue is when the right does anything that the left does, they're held to a very, very strict standard. If conservatives go out and protest, they call it, a far-right insurrection, revolt. If the left does it, they'll call it a peaceful protest.
Of course, and we got to understand that, the media and the establishment are our opponents. I think that's one reason you see fewer conservatives being canceled now, is that it no longer works on us. We have enough of our own outlets. It's not perfect. You can get canceled off YouTube. You might have to go someplace else. But we can still get our message out there. And they can't cancel us. So they're turning inward.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.